friends and foodie people, I am going to be making something that I absolutely love today, which is pumpkin bread. I'm going to be making loaves of pumpkin bread, and they are delicious and soft and delicate and, did I mention delicious? Today we're going to have a lot of ingredients, a lot of little fall spices things. I'm very excited because this video gave me an excuse to make more pumpkin bread. The ingredients you're going to need are sugar, oil, eggs, canned pumpkin, all-purpose flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda, cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So for this recipe, because we are making 2 pumpkin loaves, you need some loaf pans, which I have 2 of right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take our parchment paper and line it up so that it can fit into one with some flaps on the sides, so that when it comes out of the oven, once it's cooled a little bit, you can just pop it right out. Super easy. So it turns out I'm out of parchment paper, so I have to improvise. So what I'm gonna do instead of parchment paper is spray these down and do it heavily and wipe around with a paper towel to really make sure it's spread into every corner, because when this pumpkin bread sticks, it is not fun.
Take that, then I use a marker and I go around the edge of the paper.
Something else that my grandmother told me I could do is to put wax paper on the bottom. Wax paper is different from parchment paper. Very different. Wax paper will burn in an oven. When it's on the bottom of the pan like this, it'll be fine, because it's not in the direct heat, but I have burned wax paper in the oven. It can start fires, it's not good, it sets off the fire alarm. Don't do it. But parchment paper is great, but this should work just fine. Now that we have those set off to the side, now we're gonna do our favorite step ever, which is for everything that we make, which is to preheat our oven, except this time it's going to be to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Now in a large bowl, we're going to beat together our sugar and oil with an electric mixer. Then we're going to add our eggs one at a time, and once that's all beaten together, we add the pumpkin. This is a very wet mixture. I don't want to have a repeat of... Yeah, I don't want a repeat of that. Now that we have our wet mixture combined, we're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to sift together our dry ingredients, which are going to be our flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda, cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. It's always easier to just unscrew the caps, even when they have these little open things. It's like, yes, there's enough room for a spoon. It's like, but then I have to maneuver in this tiny little space. Now I get to sift it all together, and this is a very full sifter right now, but it's got this fun little crank. So I used to love doing this when I was younger, especially around Christmas time, because first off, it looked like snow, and second, it was just fun. Now that we have our bowl of, oh no, I ruined it. Now that we have our bowl of very sifted snow, flour, and cloves and spices that smells just amazing, we're going to get our wet ingredients back over here. Now we're going to add our dry sifted ingredients to our wet pumpkin mixture, and I'm gonna actually do it in 2 halves. This recipe isn't really anything special. It's something special, but it's not from a website or from a book. It's something that my grandmother has just had since I was little. So this recipe is just, it's good and it's yummy, and I look forward to it every year. Now that we have mixed everything in our larger bowl, we are going to grab our greased loaf pans and get ready to form our loaves. So now I'm going to take this giant bowl and attempt to pour half of its contents into one of these loaf pans. Oh, and it's sliding against my sweater. Here we go. Oh goodness. Usually I end up making 1 loaf and then 1 much larger loaf, because I either overcompensate for the first one or I underestimate it. So we'll see how these turn out. They may not be the same. And I forgot to re-grease the sides of this. It's just gonna be a fun adventure today. I try to put a design sometimes, and sometimes it works. Sometimes. I've made this bread at least once a year for a good few years now, and that part never gets easier. Do not go under the wax paper. Do not. Alrighty, and now I'm gonna say what I always say, which is, these look about equal. Now that I have these all set, I'm going to pop them in the oven for about 45 to 50 minutes, And that's why it's set at 325, because it's a slow bake, because they puff up a lot more than you'd expect. So they're gonna go in there until a cake tester or a toothpick or even a butter knife comes out clean. All right, and here are the finished pumpkin loaves. I have them kind of oddly stacked right here, but these are the beautiful pumpkin loaves that I baked today, and I love them. They taste so good. I'm so excited to have a piece of this because I know they're good, so I know that I'm gonna enjoy it. And like I said before, one did come out smaller, even though they looked even. This one is, you can tell it's thinner than this guy. Oh, so annoying, but also kind of just like self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. Someone under the wax paper, and now I'm mad. But yeah, so it looks delicious. The inside looks nice and orange, and this is one of my favorite foods of all time. I love it so much. And if you have a family member or you yourself loves pumpkin and likes fun fall foods, this is like the quintessential. Definitely make this. But yeah, if you have anybody in your life that loves pumpkin and loves bread, this is a very nice, and it's not overwhelmingly sweet. Even though there is a decent amount of sugar in it, it's not overwhelming. It's nice, and the flavor is completely balanced by all the spices, and it just tastes so good. And if you do bring it to a place though, and you do the wax paper trick, make sure to take it off before you bring it anywhere, because I have brought it places and not taken the wax paper off, and then you cut into it and it's just like, oh, sorry. Thank you so much for watching this week. I am so excited that it's getting into the fall season, and I'm gonna be making a lot of fun fall things, even though I already pretty much started all that in October. If you watched the whole thing, thank you so much, and please let me know if you liked it by leaving a like or a comment, or even subscribing to the channel to see more of my baking and cooking misadventures. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you make this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!